So, why did God rest on the seventh day? If the God of the universe intentionally took time to rest, was that for Him, or was He trying to show us a way of life? This is your host Lenu, and welcome to the DNA series on identity. Today we read from Genesis 2 verses 2, and it reads as such: And on the seventh day God created His work, and He finished His work that He had done. And He rested from all His work, from all that He had done. You see, from this passage we see something quite unusual. That is, God rested. The God of the entire universe, the one who said that never slumbers or sleep, made it a point to rest. Now, was that because God was tired, or was it because He was showing us a way of life? Now, why did God rest? It is quite simple: because creation was finished. And the same statement that it is finished was echoed by Jesus on the cross. You see, when Jesus made that statement that it is finished, He was telling us that we need to rest from the works of the law, and now we need to start resting in His finished work of the cross. For you see, salvation is never a reward for your good work or for human striving. The finished work of Jesus is a complete one. Nothing can be added to it, and nothing can be taken from it. All we need to do is to accept it and to rest in it. Now He calls us into this rest, all because the work is finished. There's nothing that is needed to be done. Everything that Jesus conquered was for us and as us. And when I mean as us, He did it like as though we did it. So when Jesus conquered sin, He conquered it as us. When He conquered death, He conquered it as us. When He conquered sickness, He conquered it as us. So anything that we see in our lives that can overcome us, Jesus conquered that as us. And what He did was His entire victory that He got on the cross when He said that it is finished, the entire victory, He placed it on our account as though we were the ones that accomplished it. Isn't that amazing? And that is really empowering. Many of us get caught up in the cycle of doing. We are doing to get God's love. We are doing to get God's attention. We are doing things to get God's favor. Beloved, you don't have to do anything to get God's attention. His eye is always on you. You are already loved and accepted. What you are called to do, rather, is to be in intimate relationship with God. That is the only doing, quote unquote, doing that we are called to do, is to rest in Him and to be intimate with the Father. When we got saved and we ascended with Christ into the heavenly place, we got seated in Christ. That is our position of rest. You see, rest is a position. It is not an action. And we get to do everything from this place of rest, of being seated with Christ and in Christ in the heavenly place. What does rest mean? It means trust. It means that we trust in His work and not on our works, whether it is good or bad. We don't get to trust on our own ability to get us into the good books of God. It means that we walk constantly with the awareness of the one who lives inside of us. Living from this place of rest is really freeing because human striving ends and we get to live in the finished work of the cross. I'm going to read a verse and listen carefully as I read this and let this soak into your spirit. For the Anointed One lives his life through us. We live in union as one. Our new life is empowered by the faith of the Son of God, who loves us so much that he gave himself for us and dispenses his life into us. What we get from this verse is that Jesus and us have become one. How empowering is this? We live as one. So we have his faith. Whose faith? Jesus' faith. We have Jesus' righteousness. We have his rest. We are called into his rest. We live together as one, and Christ dispenses his life into our life. You see, in quietness and in confidence is going to be our strength. We need to make this rest our friend, because when we rest, we are able to go further and to do much things from that place of rest rather than from just human striving. Remember, you are called to rest in the finished work of Christ. You are made in his DNA. You are designed and accepted by God.